Hi and welcome back to Mentor and yet another video podcast. So guys, have you ever felt something so strongly that when you think about it, you get happy, you feel better, you get a little bit of a tingling feeling in your stomach when you think about your future and it involves that particular dream that you're thinking about? Well, I have. And I'm betting that all of you guys who's watching this probably have that same feeling right now when you're watching this podcast. What I'm going to talk about today is the aviation bug, okay? About being bitten by the interest of aviation, of the interest of flying, of becoming a commercial pilot and living the lifestyle of a commercial pilot. So stay tuned, watch this thing to the end, and I'll promise it'll be worth it for you. Hi guys, great to see that you're still here with me. So, I have chosen to speak about the aviation bug today, and the reason for that is because I'm receiving quite a few emails and ask questions on my Instagram, on Twitter, and here on YouTube, and also on my Facebook page about how to keep that precious flame going throughout your training and while you're waiting and looking and searching for that first job. I also received a particular email from one of my viewers called Bruno, where he asked me a little bit about different schools and things, but he also asked me to explain to his parents why he wanted to become a pilot, because they did not support his idea. They were questioning the future of the whole pilot business, basically, the occupation as such, and why he was, wanting to become a pilot in the first place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you my own experience from this, okay? And then I'm going to outline a few arguments to why it is actually a very, very good thing that you guys have found this goal in your life, and why it's a really good thing for your parents to support your endeavors, okay? So I have touched on this a little bit in one of my previous podcasts, the How I Became a Pilot podcast series, which I did very early on. But I'm going to redo a little bit of it, okay? So basically, the way that I found out about this, when I was really young, as in around 10, 12 years ago, 12 years ago, when I was 12 years old, the only thing that I really wanted to become was an archaeologist, which is very, very different from what I am now, okay? I was looking very much into that. I was really, really interested. This probably had something to do with Indiana Jones movies being really, really popular at that time, okay? But my dad was an executive in an insurance company up in where I'm from, the northern part of Sweden, and he had to travel loads of distances. So he decided that it would be a great idea to take a private pilot license and just have a Piper and fly in between the cities instead of driving for hundreds of miles. So he did that. And while he started doing that, obviously, as a 12, 13-year-old boy, you follow, right? You come with him because it's cool. Pretty much everyone thinks that it's fascinating with aircraft to start with, but not everyone has the bug. But what happened was that I started following him. I've started to learn how to do flight planning, how to read VFR charts, how to understand weather forecasts and things like that. That just came with while he was being taught that, I taught myself it with his help. And then for my 14th birthday, my parents gave me a test lesson. And I went out with this flight instructor called Mats, which is a great flight instructor, and he let me fly. And it was a beautiful day. It was absolutely no movement in the air whatsoever. Great sunset. We flew over my friend's house. We did some 360s over my own house at low altitude, about 500 feet. Fantastic experience. And all through this, I got to fly. even to when we got back to the airport in Örnsköldsvik, I thought he was going to take over the controls, but he actually talked me through the entire approach and landing. Now, after that, my relationship to aviation changed. It changed from being just a kind of something that I was fascinated in. You know, you see an aircraft, you think it's cool and it's fascinating, but you don't really think much more about it, into a passion that went deep, you know, something that I felt when I was thinking about becoming a pilot. I felt warm, I felt strong, I felt like I had a purpose. Okay, and this is really important. This is what I wanted to get to. So what I did and what I'm telling all of you guys to do is, when you get hit by the aviation bug, you need to start to look at how you can achieve your goal. And this doesn't go only for aviation, this goes for anything, any goal that you have at a young age. You have a fantastic opportunity to use the fact that you're young and you have many years, and you basically have the latter part of your education in front of you, which means that you can make the decisions you need to make then, rather than having to retrain yourself later on. Because when you get older, it's going to be harder. You are going to have more responsibilities. You might have a job, you might have a family, and you might have to change the course of your life. Much easier when you're young. If you're in the 14, 15, 16, 17, it's great, because it means that you can now sit down and have a really constructive thought about what you are going to do to achieve your goal. Okay, this is, and this I'm going to stress this is a great advantage. So all of you who are saying that I'm going to have to wait because I'm only 14 years old and stuff, it's great. That's exactly where I was. So what happened to me was that I went from an average student. I actually, when I was young, I had problems with things like mathematics, for example. I really had to work hard with mathematics. But with hard work, you can achieve absolutely anything. Okay? So I went from being an average student when I was in 7th grade, or at the beginning of 8th grade, which is when we start getting our grades in Sweden. I was an average student. I was maybe a little bit above average, but definitely in the average sector. We had a system of grades that went from 0 to 5, where 5 was the highest, and I was sitting at about 3.5. Right, okay, so average. When I found this goal, okay, everything changed, because all of a sudden there was a reason for me to read. There was a reason for me to study hard, to listen to the teachers, to do my absolute best in every single one of the classes I had. And the reason for that was because I found this path. I found a school in Sweden that you could get into, and they would sponsor my aviation training. But the problem was there was only 30 spots available at that time in the country, which meant that in order to have a chance of even getting to an interview, I had to have a completely spotless record. Okay? So I knew that every single class, including gym class, including arts, including anything, even the things that are non-aviation related, was crucial. And that goes for you as well. Even if you don't have a government-sponsored program in your country, you will need the knowledge, and you will need the life experience and the understanding of the world from all of the subjects that you're reading in order to become not only a pilot but also a good pilot, but also in order to enable you to get into maybe the university you need in order to achieve that pilot job that you will need. Okay, so like I've been saying in some of the earlier podcasts that I've been doing, there are some of the airlines out there that will require you to have a university degree. And in order to get that university degree, they differ. It might be any kind of university degree, but you will need to have good grades, right? So now you have a reason, okay? Now you have a reason to really, really work. And that's what happened to me. I knew that in order for me to get a chance to get into an interview at that school that I really, really wanted to get into, I needed to have 5, okay? 5.0, nothing else. That was, I could probably have gotten a little bit less than that and still had a chance, but I knew in order to be sure to get a chance at the interview, I needed to have a spotless record, which means that I worked my ass off. And that's what you guys are going to need to do as well. Okay? I worked hard. The teachers saw that I improved my results in all the required subjects that I had, which meant that I went out from my high school with a, let's see, it was a 4.5 or 4.6 average, but the really important grades were the ones I got in the first year of our junior college in Sweden, because that's the year when they took the grades in order to get you in and assess whether or not you would get an interview or not. So the first year in junior college I worked very hard and I managed to succeed with the goal. All the grades that I had from that year was, with a new grade scale, the equivalent of 5.0, which meant that I was more or less guaranteed to be called in for an interview, which I was, and I went down for the tests, and it went so and so. Okay, I definitely felt that I could have done better because I was a little bit too nervous, because I've been working for 3.5 years at that stage in order to just achieve the interview. But that doesn't matter, because I did manage to get into the school. And the only reason I did that was because I had that precious goal. Alright? Now here, this is what's important to understand for your parents. First of all, my parents, I can't thank them enough. I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for my mom and dad. They are the reason that I've managed to get as far as I did, because they never wavered. They always stood up behind me. They did everything that I could possibly need them to do in order to support my dreams and goals, which is what I'm living by now for my own children. Okay, which I would love to, and I would hope that all parents out there would understand that they can't do anything to change the dreams and hopes of their children. The only thing that they can do is guide them and support them and give them their view, their life experience, which is all that is needed. Sometimes children have to make mistakes in order to learn. That's how we learn. No one can tell us that your dream is false. It doesn't work. No matter how much a parent says that, no, that dream doesn't work, you won't be able to do this and that. It doesn't work. The dream will still be there. The only thing that will be building is resentment. So as a parent, the best you can do is to support your child and let them go through it. You can put up targets for them, or you can put up goals for them to achieve. You can say that we don't have the financial means to pay for a pilot education, so you are going to have to do this the modular way. You are going to have to work on your weekends. You're going to have to start saving up money so that you can take your PPL, and if you like it, then we'll go further and we'll see if we can get yourself a mortgage from the bank, a loan from the bank, whatever. So it's not all about money. It's not all about having the financial means to do this, but support has to be there. It has to be there. And, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it's an experience that your child, your son or daughter will have. But what you'll have to see, and this is important, okay, is that you have, as a parent and as a child, you have been given a gift. The gift of a goal at an early age. If you would know how many students are out there who are lacking a goal, who does not know what they're going to do, even when they reach college and even when they reach university, they still have no idea what they're going to use this knowledge for. If you can't see what you're going to use the knowledge for, it's very hard to motivate yourself in order to achieve. Okay? So if your son or daughter has gotten this goal early on, in their 14th or 15th, it means that they now have the motivation to study hard. They have the motivation to stay out of trouble, stay out of drugs, stay out of police records, because they will know that you can't have a police record history if you're going to get into the aviation industry. They're going to have to behave, study hard, and try to achieve their goals to the best of their capability. Okay? So what you have been given is a gift. Use that gift. Okay? Because talking from my own experience, it's the best thing that could ever have happened to me. And it is probably the best thing that can ever happen to you and your son or daughter as well. So look at it from that perspective. use it, and I am fairly happy or fairly confident that what you'll get out of this, even if your son or daughter does not actually reach the goal at the end. Now, everyone would work for that, but at the end maybe they don't want to, maybe they change their goals. They will still have had the structure needed in order to achieve much greater results in school and much greater results on anything really that they put their mind on, because they now have a focus, and that is really important for a young mind. Okay, so use that. And I wish you all the best of luck when it comes to keeping that aviation flame going. It will do itself, providing that you actually stay true to your goal and you work against it. Nothing can stop you, because there's nothing as strong as the mind of a determined person, right? So continue with it, work on it, and I'll be here to help out if I can help in any way. Just send in your questions, send in your suggestions, and I'll try to help out. Okay. Have a fantastic day. I hope this has helped a little bit, and Bruno, I hope that you can translate this for your parents. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.